Hello, my name is Shiji Kuthuria, and I am a reference instruction and honors college librarian at Perimeter College. I'm based at the Alpharetta campus. Welcome to this tutorial. Today you will get a basic introduction to plagiarism and the American Political Science Association, or APSA, citation style. The purpose of this tutorial is to define and help you understand what plagiarism is, how that relates to your role as a GSU student, introduce the basics of APSA citation style, and some simple strategies to avoid the traps of academic dishonesty. Charles Lipson's 2018 book called Doing Honest Work in College discusses how to avoid plagiarism and 3 principles of academic honesty. It's important to represent your own work and ideas honestly, and when you rely on someone else's work or idea, say from a book, article, or website, that you cite it and present it fairly and truthfully. Citing is about honesty and a part of good research. Not only is it required in your role as a college student, but it is essential to retaining integrity throughout your career. By crediting others for their own ideas, it provides authority to your ideas and connects others to previous research already done. Plagiarism occurs when you don't properly cite your sources and ideas. Did you know there are various forms of plagiarism? Even partially including sets of words or accidentally forgetting to put quotation marks in one part of your paper can count as plagiarism. It doesn't have to be intentional to be considered plagiarism. Plagiarism can take many forms, intentionally or not. Even paraphrasing words that are not your own idea without proper citation counts as plagiarism. Many often think that ideas taken from websites or online sources don't need to be cited, but any idea from any medium should be cited when it's not your own idea. To avoid plagiarism, all you have to do is document your sources. It does not matter if it's a direct quote or an idea that you have summarized in your own words, which is called paraphrasing. You do not have to cite common knowledge, but if it is considered a borrowed fact that is not commonly known, it's best to cite where it comes from. So why do we cite? Because it's formally required of you as a student or scholar at GSU. The GSU policy on academic honesty is a standard of conduct that all GSU students must adhere to, and in it there's a full description of what plagiarism entails and its consequences. The full policy can be found at this link, or you can scan this QR code. So what exactly are the consequences for plagiarizing at GSU? Penalties can take both an academic and disciplinary nature. Academic penalties can include a failing grade on the assignment or course overall. Disciplinary penalties can include suspension or expulsion from the university. As a student, you will be able to appeal the decision as it moves through the ranks of the university decision-making process. But please keep in mind, plagiarism happens beyond school and in the real world too. People in high-ranking positions are often ousted or publicly embarrassed when caught stealing quotes and ideas and presenting them as their own work. So these are not concepts or ideas that expire once you graduate. Always give credit to others for their work throughout your own career. When do we cite? It's important to cite or credit your sources when you use any idea that's not yours. That includes the exact words of an author, called quoting, or rearranging the words but still using the same idea, called paraphrasing. The Purdue OWL offers a visual guide on when to cite. Follow the prompts on the chart to see if you should cite something. For example, if something is not your idea and not common knowledge, then you should indeed cite the source. What citation style you use often depends on what discipline of course you are taking. For this course, you'll be asked to cite an APSA, which is a common style for political science and American government courses. When you are writing your paper, you follow their specific style for crediting authors within the text. They follow a modified version of the Chicago author date style. When you are doing an in-text citation within the text of your own writing, you use the author of the work and the year the work was published in, with no comma in between. If you're using a direct quote from the passage, you must include the page number the quote came from. Here's an example of how you would put all of your references together in your paper should you be asked to use APSA style. Within the paper, you would provide an in-text citation right next to the sentence with the other author's idea. Then you'd provide a fuller entry at the end of your paper in an area titled References. This area has more information about the source, including the title of the paper, the journal it was published in, publisher information, and the link where someone can read the full paper. For every in-text citation you provide, you must have an accompanying entry in your reference. They are usually sorted alphabetically by the author's last name or the first word in the reference. This is typical information you must have for every citation you provide in your paper, no matter which style you're citing in. As you're doing your research, you must make sure to note this information somewhere so you're not scrambling to find this information at the end of the writing process. Here's an example of how a full reference entry looks using APSA style. You'll notice there's a specific way each element is listed. For example, the title of the article is in quotes, the publication title is italicized, and the volume and issue number of the journal is listed in a particular way with parentheses and a colon. Each citation style, such as APSA, MLA, APA, Chicago, will have their own unique way of displaying this sort of information. When it comes time to pull your citation together, you can do it a few different ways. You can jot down all of the citation elements and then format it manually in your paper or presentation. You can also pull it automatically from another source. For example, many library databases also show you how to pull together a citation. Online citation tools like Zotero can make the reference for you. However, you are still responsible for making sure these are accurate as they are machine generated. Either way, a librarian can assist you in the process. It's important to note that a librarian will not proofread your citation to tell you if you did it right or wrong, but can answer formatting questions and guide you through the process. These are the official sources to check your citations, particularly if you are using machine-generated references. You can use the APSA Official Style Guide. The Purdue OWL and GSU Library Research Guide are also online and freely available to guide you with the citation process. However, they may be missing some specifics on APSA style and are geared more towards APA and MLA style. In summary, research and writing takes time. Give yourself the time you need to appropriately write your paper and cite your appropriate sources. When using library and scholarly sources, it often takes time to read and synthesize the concepts, so allocate a good amount of time to gather, read, and synthesize your research. That way, citing the appropriate sources will be an easier process. Remember, plagiarism can occur with just one sentence. As you are reading your sources, take a lot of notes and even jot down the page number of where you may be getting an idea from. Keep a rough bibliography with all of the citation elements as you do your research process, so putting together the information later will be easier. There are also many online tools that can help. So citation management tools like Zotero can help you both keep track of your sources and cite them. It's a free tool that automatically senses the content you're viewing on the web and saves it into a personal database with one click. The metadata it stores helps you instantly create references and bibliographies within Word and Google Docs. It has over 10,000 citation styles in its library, including APA, MLA, Chicago, and APSA. Finally, don't forget to take care of yourself. Stress and anxiety is often attributed as a factor of a student committing plagiarism. Take breaks and find ways to decompress between the hard work of writing and research. If you do need additional support, don't hesitate to contact your community contacts such as the counseling center or a friend or a librarian. Did you know you can chat live with the librarian? We also have a frequently asked questions page that you can browse. You can also reserve a spot for a one-on-one research appointment with any of our perimeter librarians at the following link. Finally, I've provided my direct contact information if you have any questions for me. So how confident do you feel with the information you just learned? Let's see. Scan this QR code now and take a short quiz. If the QR code doesn't work, feel free to type in this link into your web browser. Thank you for viewing this tutorial today. Let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to hearing from you.